Justin McGrath, and I'm going to show you kind of how I use 808 and the XOXbox together. Right now I have everything in Logic, so I have Fireface 800, and all my synths are plugged into it, and then they show up in the mixer in Logic. So I have Logic sending out MIDI into the XOXbox, which is then slave to the 808 over to NSYNC. So I'm just going to quickly go over a quick pattern with the 808 and XOXbox running. I'm just going to go through kind of just what it's capable of. I think most people are familiar with 808 from its history and everything. I'm actually borrowing this from someone really cool. I should mention that. It's not really mine, but I had it for a while. So basically right now I just have a bass drum running. The way this works is pretty typical of some software drum machines. So there's basically a toggle knob to switch between the sequences for each drum sound. So right now I have the bass drum, and you can see that's a sign there. And you pretty much can go through and add notes to the sequence with the buttons here. Or one of my favorite things is this tap button, which lets you trigger the sound and insert a note while the sequence is running. So, for example, if I did that on the snare drum, I could do something like this. Oops. Sort of inserts a note for you. Makes it a little more fun for real-time operations. So, do that again with the hi-hat. So this is the closed hi-hat sound. I'll just go and insert a pattern here with the tap button. The great thing about this is you have a little bit of control over every drum sound. Some more than others. So with the snare drum, you have a tone control and a snap control. So it kind of sounds like this. This is the tone control on the snare drum. It's kind of subtle. And then the snap control. Makes it a little brighter. For the bass drum, there's tone and decay. So you can make the bass drum a little tighter, a little bigger. I'm going to go and add some open hat. Each drum sound has its own volume control, so you can really do like a nice job of mixing each sound where not everything's playing at the same volume, and just has a nice feel to it, more like an analog mixer. Another thing I should mention is each drum sound has its own individual out, which no one does anymore at all. So back in the day, this would allow people to hook every single separate instrument into a mixer and mix it differently, or add an effect in the chain, maybe throwing a delay just on the snare drum, things like that. If you do insert a cable into the output of the snare drum, for instance, the main mix remains active. It's just missing the snare drum, and then the snare drum will be going out its own output. So you can do things, you know, as complicated or as simple as you want in that regard. So, pretty much have the most generic 808 pattern going right now, and a 303 to make it even more generic.